Tonight, fighting for jobs.
GM is hesitant to make a product allocation decision because they don't know what the future looks like.
The latest from the CAMI assembly plant and the hundreds of employees in limbo. Plus, potential cancellations ahead of a pilot strike.
We don't want to go on strike. We want to work.
The expected impact in London if they walk off the job. And the trip of a lifetime.
Over 200,000 people applied.
From social media scrolling to an overseas adventure.
I'm just a girl from London, Ontario, and anything is possible.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The clock is ticking for the future of the CAMI assembly plant in Ingersoll and its 1,200 employees. Union leaders say high-level talks are underway, though, with a plan in the works to keep some workers on the job. With more on those options and the timeline, here's Sean Irvin.
It has been a whirlwind for union leaders fighting to secure the future of GM CAMI Automotive.
It has been a tough time talking about your plant when so much hangs in the balance,
including the livelihoods of more than 1,000 unionized workers. Next week, they will learn more about future options on the table. The union says the plan will include 26 weeks of pay for those not recalled within the next month. A small number of workers will be retained to monitor the plant. Other options include retirement and severance packages. But perhaps the most significant news from the union is the potential for a new deal to retain more employees. Just how many more is unclear. CTV News reached out to plant chair Mike Van Boekel to learn more, but for now, this is all he has offered publicly to his members.
We are currently in pretty big talks with GM right now that I cannot comment on, but hope to have an announcement hopefully by next week to keep some of our members working.
Workers are being told to make their choice by January 7th. The fast-moving pace matches the current environment of the auto sector, according to a supply chain management expert at the Ivey School of Business. Fraser Johnson is blunt in his assessment.
The trade battle that we're having with the U.S. represents an existential threat to our auto industry in Canada as we know it today.
He concedes it's tough news for CAMI workers and those at supplying plants.
The problem with Ingersoll is that GM is hesitant to make a product allocation decision because they don't know what the future looks like.
Still, Johnson, a self-described optimist, believes GM, Ford, Toyota, and Honda will do everything they can to keep their plants operating in Canada. But there comes a point.
Do you ever see a scenario where they mothball this plant and just walk away?
Well, if I could phrase it this way, Sean, I think that General Motors would reluctantly do that if the economics just didn't make sense.
Ultimately, Johnson believes the CAMI plant and its workforce will remain viable after the current period of turmoil passes.
There's no reason why that plant can't be productive and profitable for General Motors, but it's just the economic uncertainty that's creating the problem right now.
Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Officials at London City Hall may mandate a new cost when buying a home, requiring the weeping tile system be disconnected, which could cost $5,000 to $10,000. As Daryl Newcomb reports, that would affect upwards of 50,000 homes.
It feels like a new land transfer tax for London.
Several councillors uncomfortable accepting a recent study recommending City Hall mandate the disconnection of weeping tiles from the sewage system whenever a house is sold. The goal, reduce sewage overflows into the river as well as basement flooding caused when stormwater overwhelms the capacity of London's sewage treatment plants. Mandating the $5,000 to $10,000 disconnection during a home sale would be a first in Canada.
It depends on the age of the city and the age of their infrastructure, but we would certainly be a leader on this if we went forward. We're talking about an affordability crisis with housing right now, and we're saying that a homeowner with a home that is connected to the weeping tile system could pay between $5,000 and $10,000 extra.
Connecting a weeping tile system directly to the city's sanitary sewer pipe was commonplace in the past. In fact, City Hall estimates there's still about 50,000 houses built before 1985 that are connected.
This is a big big source of that unwanted water. And at a rate of 70 to 90 connections done per year through the opt-in program, that's not really making much of a dent on those 50,000.
The proposal would require the new homeowner disconnect the house from the city's sewage system and obtain a certificate of compliance from City Hall. Implementing the program would require staff for inspections, administration, and enforcement.
I am concerned about the reception that this is going to have on Londoners who are being told this is being mandated, and that the cost is now being borne by them.
Much, if not all of my ward would probably be impacted by it. I'm still willing to look at the options. I'm not really willing to just accept it outright at this moment.
I think it's better for us if we have infrastructure that is at the level of 2025, especially with climate change and our increase in flooding risk.
The committee voted to refer the matter to a future meeting in March so staff can report on the other options that were considered.
See all the alternative strategies outside of the one that was recommended so that we can then hear all sides of the discussion.
City staff will consider the referral at its meeting on December 16th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Air Transat passengers are bracing for disruptions this week, 2 days out from a potential pilot strike. With the latest on those negotiations and the expected impact at London's airport, here's Rita Ismail.
2 Air Transat flights took off from London's international airport to the Caribbean over the weekend. A looming pilot strike could impact those passengers.
The flights this time of year are always full, and our sun destinations are extremely popular, both with Air Transat and Sunwing, so they're usually full flights. So could be upwards of 180 plus people on each flight that would be affected if it does get canceled.
In a statement to CTV News, the airline says negotiations continued throughout the night and that progress was made, adding the airline hopes to reach an agreement and it is now up to the union to consider their generous offer.
I'm glad that they are characterizing their offer as generous, but really that requires scrutiny and analysis on both sides and compromise, and that's what we're doing. We are working through all of the outstanding issues at the table. I mean, I think oversimplifying it doesn't really help anybody.
Air Transat says to date, all flights have been on schedule and they are now launching a special program to return travelers early, adding 4 extra flights to bring home passengers originally scheduled for December 10th. Meanwhile, the Airline Pilots Association has officially set the stage for a strike, issuing a 72-hour notice. The union says pilots have been negotiating for nearly a year, seeking industry standard pay, benefits, and job security to replace their 2015 agreement. Earlier this month, 99% of Air Transat's 750 pilots voted to authorize a strike.
We don't want to go on strike. We want to work. We absolutely care about people and where they want to go.
Labor relations expert Garant Harvey from Western University says both sides have a lot to lose.
Neither party wants to go on strike. It's not good for pilots, it's not good for the airline. So if I was a betting person, I'm not, but if I was, I would see this being resolved prior to that deadline. It's clearly having an impact now because people are aware, they're frightened about, possibly they're put off from taking flights with Air Transat.
If a strike happens, there's little the airports can do. Passengers are encouraged to monitor the Air Transat website or app for updates. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Good evening. It was a cold one today, but you can take the cold with the sunshine. It was beautiful this afternoon. We still had a few flurries off Lake Huron, but wind chills coming in between -10 and -12 in some areas. And we're going to have wind chills overnight close to -18. We are under the influence of high pressure. I mentioned a few flurries coming downwind of Lake Huron, but our next clipper system coming in for tomorrow with some accumulating snowfall. Temperature on the very cold side tonight, well below normal for this time of year. We'll drop down to about -12 by midnight, feeling like -18. An active weather week ahead with rounds of snowfall, potential for a wintry mix and snow squalls ramping up. I'll have your local weather details and a look ahead at the next 7 coming up in just a few minutes. Carlyle?
Thanks, Julie. London police say they've charged a man and a woman with multiple offenses related to 6 shootings across the city since Friday. They say no people were shot, but several buildings were targeted. According to police, 18-year-old Jagger Pearce and 18-year-old Shania Ireland were arrested after a stolen vehicle was stopped and a .22 caliber firearm was recovered. York Regional Police have released new video showing the moments gunfire broke out at LHSC's Victoria Campus Emergency Department. The shooting happened last December. A series of short videos shows a person running toward the hospital doors, someone from a vehicle firing bullets in their direction, sending people inside the waiting room scrambling. York Police say they've arrested 13 members of an organized criminal network through their investigation, laying more than 150 charges connected to violent crimes all over the province.
These acts were brazen, they were brutal, and they're completely unacceptable. When it comes to committing violence, these suspects certainly did not discriminate.
Police say the charges stem from a nearly year-long joint operation called Project Wrangler. A 19-year-old man and 16-year-old boy have been charged with attempted murder in connection to the LHSC shooting. London's mayor has joined other big city mayors calling on the Ontario government to declare a state of emergency when it comes to addiction and homelessness issues. With more, here's Jerry Dewan.
Josh Morgan says more must be done to help cities meet the challenges of addictions and homelessness. That's why he seconded a motion at the Big City Mayor's Caucus calling for the province to declare a state of emergency.
We're all pulling in the same direction, but it's still not enough. There are still more people falling into homelessness than we are putting into housing. And that is the true emergency, because on the streets in this province, people will freeze this winter. Some people will die.
In southeast London, land is being prepared for 60 micro-shelter units, which will have on-site supports. In locations across the province, municipalities are unveiling their own approaches to addressing shelter and housing issues, like Project Tiny Hope in St. Thomas. Morgan believes having the province declare a state of emergency will improve and accelerate responses.
It elevates us to one of the highest priorities in the province, right? It signals to the federal government that we need assistance in this province. It allows multiple ministries to come together. It allows partnerships to form. It allows for procurement to happen on a quicker process.
On Sunday, the Middlesex London Health Unit issued an extreme cold alert that prompted the city to open a warming center here at the Boyle Memorial Community Centre, giving people on the streets a chance to get out of the cold overnight. But that kind of emergent response comes at a cost.
After all of the agencies who are doing incredible work in our city have maxed their capacity in their spaces, we had to surge to another 56 spaces. So having these additional resources online at the expense of property taxpayers is absolutely necessary to pull people out of the cold. But ultimately, it is not something that is sustainable in the long term for municipal governments to fund. It's not what property taxes were meant to do.
Chris Surrogacy lives in Old East Village, where the Boyle Community Centre is located. He supports using it for a warming centre.
Some of them, need more, but right now, this is nothing. Just to open a community centre.
But Surrogacy also wants to see more done.
We need to do it. I mean, housing is expensive, and it's not their fault that they've found themselves in this predicament. We can't make the assumption that it is all their fault.
Morgan stresses the motion isn't intended to be a criticism of the province's efforts, but the big city mayors note that municipal governments absorb more than half of the cost of the $4.1 billion spent on housing and homelessness projects in 2024. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Provincial police say a 64-year-old woman was killed in a crash on the 401 this weekend. They say the crash happened early Sunday morning at Iona Road in Dutton. According to police, the woman was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries and did not survive. They say 4 others did need hospital treatment as well, and they're all expected to recover. Radio and journalism students at Fanshawe College are petitioning for a partial tuition refund, with the future of the campus radio station in jeopardy. As Brent Lale reports, the students say they were promised an authentic on-air broadcast experience.
It's Karen from 106.9 The X, and let's talk about Christmas traditions.
With the future of Fanshawe's campus radio station up in the air, media students have submitted a petition to the college for tuition reassessment, or compensation.
If we're paying full tuition, we expect the full educational experience.
The students say they were promised 4 semesters of hands-on learning and experience with a CRTC licensed radio station. However, Fanshawe announced earlier this year they could no longer financially support the station, and if no partner was found, it would go off the air by the end of the year.
This is what the journalism program has been built on, and it's really, really sad seeing that element, the main focus of this program, be taken away from us.
Today, the college says the future of the station is still unknown.
We are currently speaking with interested parties in the community who did respond to the college's call for folks who might be interested in undergoing the transfer process of the broadcasting license. The college is committed both to responding to the students' questions and also to ensuring continued and ongoing quality of their learning experiences as they wrap up their program.
Hundreds of graduates who have gone on to careers in the industry got their start at the campus station. That includes 5 staff currently on air here at CTV London.
For me and for others, it was a training tool. I mean, think of it. You're young, you're just learning the trade, and you're on a licensed radio station that is going out into the community. It was a big plus because as soon as you were done working at 6X, you could go into a licensed radio station and do your job.
If 6XFM goes off the air, it will leave students with the in-house CFRL as their only platform.
It doesn't give the same equivalence to being on an actual CRTC licensed radio station. Also, with CIXX, past students have had opportunities to run sales as a station op, actually go on real sales calls, do real promotion stuff for the FM station. If the station is taken away, we won't get any of those opportunities, which again is in the program description and what we're paying for.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
A former Western University professor who was convicted of sexual assault has been denied permission to travel abroad while under house arrest. Earlier this year, 65-year-old Ajay Ray was found guilty of sexually assaulting a colleague, sentenced to house arrest and community service. He has since filed an application to attend a family member's wedding in India and to visit a sick relative. However, a judge has denied those requests, saying they do not meet the threshold of exceptional circumstances. Ray has maintained his innocence, filing a notice to appeal his conviction. A major tourism attraction is set to reopen in Huron County tomorrow. The Manassatung Bridge has been closed since April for extensive repairs. Officials say restoration work took longer than expected and cost more. As many as 30,000 visitors use the pedestrian bridge each year, which looks out over the Maitland River. A grassroots initiative launched in the Old South neighborhood 6 years ago is growing. Organizers are gathering food and toys ahead of the holidays, supporting local families. With more on their campaign, here's Brian Bicknell.
The day begins with a collection of donations from South Secondary School. Load up the SUVs with food and toys, then it's back to the community hub in Wortley Village for organizing. All of the donated food and toys that fill these rooms is about to make the holidays happier for London families who need a helping hand.
So we have 250 families that we're helping this year locally with food, some toys, clothes. We actually meet wish lists for Roth Home House and Nova's Women's Shelter and some of the schools in the area as well.
This is the Miley Group's 6th annual food and toy drive in partnership with the nonprofit Project Impact. The grassroots initiative began in 2019 when partners Angie and Krista Reeves and their co-organizer Amanda DiLoretto decided they wanted to give back.
We see a lot of need, and what we're doing is just a small little thing, and we'd love to help more.
Because we go direct to families and we get wish lists from them that we're able to fulfill. When you don't see that same family on the list the next year, it instills that hope that we're making a difference.
My family was in the women's shelter on Christmas when I was a kid, and I remember my mom getting a gift that I thought was well intended and donated, but it just wasn't selected for her. So for me, from that day on, I decided as an adult, and when I was able to, I wanted to give back to our community in a more meaningful way.
After months of collecting and support from the community, delivery days are set for December 15 and 16, all from this community hub in Wortley Village, because a small group of people saw a great need and wanted to do something about it.
We've been there all ourselves, and so we just feel humbled to be able to do it, to be honest with you, and grateful that we have the community that supports us to do it each year.
And if you'd like to help out, you can drop off donations at the Miley Group office at 171 Wortley Road. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Coming up, 6 million Canadians without a family physician. The federal government proposing new immigration rules to attract more doctors.
I was escorted out through the airport by 2 armed staff members.
Plus, a Canadian offering to be a surrogate for an American couple told to turn around at the border.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
It's time to build a toy mountain. Make this holiday season merry for so many kids. Bring new unwrapped toys to CF Masonville Place.
All in support of the Salvation Army. We will be collecting donations November 21st to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community. Toy Mountain, supported by Gomez Appliances, London Bass Center, and UBC Built Local 1946.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever. Visit ctvlondon.ca for more ways to donate.
The federal government is considering a new express entry category for foreign-trained doctors. As Mike Lucatura reports, it's about getting more hands on deck as Canada deals with increasing patient demands.
Nearly 6 million Canadians do not have a primary care doctor. While the numbers have improved in the last 3 years, the government is trying to keep more physicians in this country.
We need more hands on deck.
In an effort to bolster the number of doctors in this country, the federal government is opening a new system to fast-track permanent residency for doctors who are working in Canada.
Many of these doctors are already treating patients in our communities. We cannot afford to lose them.
The program creates an express entry category for international doctors with at least 1 year Canadian experience in an eligible occupation. The federal government is reserving 5,000 spots for provincially nominated doctors, and those healthcare workers will get expedited 14-day work permit processing. The measures come as a major national survey shows more Canadians have a family doctor or nurse practitioner compared to 3 years ago. 5.9 million Canadians still don't have primary care, but those that do struggle with getting a timely or urgent appointment.
Less than 50% reported being able to get that. So we still have a long way to go in terms of providing timely care and care when people need it, even for those who do have a family doctor.
A past president of the Canadian Medical Association also wants to see logistical barriers moved out of the way.
I want to make sure that we're getting rid of any red tape, any barriers to having physicians moving around the country to help where needs are greatest, for physicians who are coming in from other countries to be able to contribute to the system.
The immigration minister says provinces and territories will be able to start nominating physicians for the Express Entry program in early 2026. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
A Canadian woman says she was recently denied entry to the U.S. because she was crossing the border to become a surrogate. Adrian Gabriel has more on the reasons border officers blocked her and what it all means for the expecting family members.
A Canadian's dream of helping an American couple complete their family has been denied by U.S. Border Services.
I was escorted out through the airport by 2 armed staff members.
Though Melody, who's asked we only use her first name, isn't a criminal, she's a surrogate. On October 12th, Melody arrived at Calgary Airport's U.S. Customs pre-clearance, where she shared all her paperwork as a surrogate to travel to a fertility clinic in California where an embryo is being stored, with plans to immediately return home to Canada, where she hopes to eventually deliver the child.
The border agent told me that what I was doing is illegal, which it's not, stating that I was going down to California for financial benefits.
Surrogates visiting fertility clinics in America isn't uncommon. In an email to CTV News, U.S. Customs and Border Protection wrote that a Canadian serving as a surrogate for an American family, particularly if compensation is involved, would likely be classified as employment under U.S. immigration law, requiring a work visa. Though Melody wasn't going to work in the United States, she says she's never made any money from being a surrogate. Canadian law clearly prohibits surrogates from profiting financially.
We are allowed, though, to reimburse surrogates for expenses she incurs as a result of the surrogacy.
Melody already carried and delivered a healthy baby boy for the same California-based couple in 2018. Plans for a second surrogacy were delayed by the pandemic.
We've been trying to set this up to have a second one ever since, to kind of complete what we consider our family.
The California father, who's asked that we not use his name, fearful that going public may create more problems for Melody at U.S. Customs, believes the future of his family now hangs in the balance.
Phillips, you can come down. I don't think we're going to give up.
It's so disappointing that a governmental institution would interfere in such a relationship. This surrogate is like an angel who's going to help them have a child.
Trying to have a family is not a criminal offense. Being a surrogate is not a criminal offense.
The Calgarian will try to clear U.S. Customs once again and fly to the fertility clinic in California this Sunday in her quest to help complete an American family. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Kincardines Hospital is moving to the next phase of a nearly $80 million redevelopment. The provincial government has approved plans for new labs, a lobby, and MRI suite at the hospital's emergency department. The first phase was carried out a few years ago, adding a CT scanner. So far, officials say they've raised $12 million of the $18 million they're required to raise for the project. The rest will be covered by the provincial government. Julie's with me on the desk now, and we're starting another wintry week. It feels like it's chilly, it's cold, and some more snow in the forecast.
Yes, it's so cold out there. I don't know. Going from the extremes is really tough for people. But being outside today with that sunshine I mentioned, definitely easier to take when the sun is shining. What won't be easy to take for some will be the snow that's moving in tomorrow. Today, -7, wind chills across the region, anywhere from -8 to -14. It's getting colder out there tonight. Our low dropped to -17, shy of the record set back in 1977. It was -20. Still some flurries coming off Lake Huron. We have a snow squall watch in effect through the Bruce Peninsula. Snow squalls are expected to develop tomorrow. Tonight will be nice and quiet out there, just a few light flurries in through parts of Huron County and southern Bruce, but other than that, we'll remain under the influence of high pressure. That high, though, is sliding off to the east, allowing a clipper to come on in for a visit, and with that clipper, some snowfall. The low pressure area will be diving southward tonight. As it starts to come in, snow develops tomorrow, anytime after about 8 a.m. Now, temperatures will be cold tonight. We dip down to about -12 in London, along the lake shore of Erie, -8, but near Lake Huron tonight, -10 to -11. So as we go out 36 hours, we got a couple two-punch system coming in. So the first one arrives tomorrow with a little area of snow coming in, about 2 to 4 centimeters in London. During the day, 5 to 10 potential in through Huron, Perth, Grey, and Bruce. And then another round coming in as we head into tomorrow evening. And then our next weather system. So this one brings us snowfall. The next one has a southerly flow to it, and that means the potential for a bit of mixed precipitation. So that takes us into Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. So the first system comes through a Tuesday with a couple rounds of snow, one in the morning and then again into the evening. Potential snowfall amounts in London totaling about 10 centimeters. North of London, those numbers will be a bit higher. We are expecting snowfall amounts 5 to 10 10 during the day. Then on Wednesday at 4 a.m., you can see that mixed precipitation coming into Essex County. So Chatham-Kent area, you'll likely see a rain-snow mix. And in London, the potential for a rain-snow mix as we head into Wednesday. The Wednesday system will be followed by a cold push of air from the northwest, and that will generate off-lake flurries and lake effect snow. So get ready. This week is going to be a doozy in terms of rounds of snowfall and the potential for some mixed precipitation, a very winter-like week. Here's your snowfall over the next 36 hours, close to about 10 centimeters in London. You can see all of that cold air that has spilled down into the Great Lakes. It's starting to reach towards the Tennessee Valley area in Kentucky, but really you can see in through the Ohio Valley. So it has a little bit of reach. In terms of our forecast tomorrow, it'll start cold, but end closer to the freezing mark in London. We'll forecast high about 0, north of London around 0 to -1, but the winds out of the southwest 30 with gusts of 50 will make it feel colder. So snow in the morning, arriving anytime after 8 to 9 a.m. And then we will have some snow as we head into the evening. Wednesday's the rain-snow mix day, the high +2. Now the system that comes in, the cold air that follows the system on Wednesday will lead to flurries and snow squalls Wednesday night, and then flurries and gusty winds on Thursday, the high -4. It'll hit -2 on Friday to -6 on Saturday with snow in the forecast. We have snow every day over the next 5 days, so probably not the news you were hoping for. Midwestern Ontario, potential for 5 to 10 tomorrow. Daytime highs from 0 to -1. We'll hit 2 degrees on Wednesday with the chance of a rain-snow mix in here on Perth. Likely Grey Bruce. You'll be just into snowfall. It'll just depend on how that warm air is able to advance northward. Thursday, flurries and snow squalls. This looks to be a very rough day on area roads. And then on Friday, the chance of flurries at -2. Flurries on Saturday. Today was the calm day, the sunshine. Tomorrow comes the snow, and snow expected to follow through the week. So snow tomorrow, a wintry mix on Wednesday, flurries and snow squalls Thursday, and the cold air returns to the area Carlyle Thursday through Saturday and Sunday. So winter weather is just, hanging out, and it's ready to blast in for the week with lots of snow expected.
Sounds like a busy week for you, Julie. Thanks very much. Coming up, the increasing doubts over Ottawa's plan to build 500,000 new homes a year. The number suggesting the real total will be well short of that goal.
We at Pure Country want to take a little bit of the Christmas stress off your plate and instead add a couple extra zeros in your bank account.
So make sure you're listening for Prize Town at 7:10. Your chance to win a $100 OLG voucher all week. Good luck.
Hit the road with Mickey Mouse and his pals for a high-octane ride when Disney on Ice presents Road Trip Adventures at Canada Life Place from January 15th to 18th. Enter online at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets.
Midwestern Ontario's largest power utility could soon be sold. Westario Power's board members recommend a sale to Earth Power Corporation. Westario handles power distribution for Kincardine, Hanover, and Wingham, serving about 25,000 customers. Earth Power Corporation handles distribution for Ingersoll, Mitchell, and Port Stanley. According to Westario board members, the sale should provide stability and keep power bills tied to inflation. Approval on the sale is expected before the end of the year. A new report is casting doubt on the federal government's promise to double the pace of home construction. Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more on the housing reality check for Canada.
We need to get housing supply up. In fact, we need to double housing supply on an annual basis.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's campaign pledge to build nearly 500,000 homes annually so far isn't adding up. According to a new PBO report, Ottawa's new federal agency, Build Canada Homes, is projected to add 26,000 units to the housing supply over the next 5 years, a 2.1% increase over the fiscal watchdog's baseline projection for new home construction.
I think I would give them a C- when it comes to housing, that
overall, I think they are moving in the right direction, but not at the speed and scale that's necessary.
The housing minister doesn't see things the same way. He says Build Canada Homes is just getting started and that the PBO's numbers don't tell the whole story.
I think that's just based on the raw number. It's not based on attracting a lot of investment from provinces, from the private sector.
By harnessing private and public sector funding, Ottawa intends to double the pace of housing construction. But so far, it hasn't released a clear plan to achieve that goal. And overall spending on housing, according to the PBO, is set to drop by 56% over the next 3 years as Trudeau-era programs expire.
A lot of the mechanisms that the federal government used weren't terribly effective in creating the affordable housing that people need the most. So I welcome the restart represented by Build Canada Homes, but we have to see a lot more.
The PBO report assumes that major programs like the $4.4 billion Housing Accelerator Fund will not be renewed or topped up. The finance minister, however, says it's not fair to prejudge what decisions the government will make between now and 2029. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the telecom, utility and energy sectors. The TSX lost 141 points. In New York, the Dow fell 216. The Nasdaq dropped 32. The Canadian dollar up 1/10 cent. On commodity markets, gold dropped $25 an ounce. Oil down $1.20 a barrel. Later on CTV News, Santa's new house in St. Thomas, the warm reception for Old St. Nick at the Elgin County Railway Museum. Welcome back. A house exploded in Elgin County late last week, bringing in Provincial fire investigators to figure out what caused it. That's because, as Brent Lail reports, as far as firefighters can tell, there weren't any flames involved.
Provincial fire investigators examine a propane tank next to what's left of a house in southeast Elgin County. Friday morning, the home in the municipality of Bayham exploded.
Almost like a sonic boom. It rattled the windows in the house.
Mayor Ed Ketchabaugh lives just about 700 meters away and called it in to the fire department.
We arrived, and as you can see behind us, we had a house that exploded, but the unusual event was there's absolutely no fire to this. Due to the explosion, the OFM must be contacted. They're on scene right now along with the TSSA. I've seen a house explode before, but there was fire there too. And this is very unusual that it blew itself out.
Chief Baronick says 2 stations and 15 firefighters responded. But when they arrived and realized there was no flames, they quickly dispersed to preserve the scene for the OFM.
What we will be doing is a methodical approach, and what that means is we'll be fine combing through everything. We'll be turning everything to make sure that we can find the origin of the cause. We have brought in heavy equipment to help and assist our investigators.
Mayor Ketchabaugh says the home had been in his family over the years, and new owners took possession December 1st.
I've never met the neighbors, so we don't know what's going on. But when you go down and you're expecting, wow, the house is flat. There's no fire. What's going on here?
The one reason that the house is still intact was that we were able to contact the owners and it was vacant at the time. Therefore, we were not concerned about searching for people.
The Technical Standards Safety Authority is on site to aid the OFM with their investigation.
Once the excavator does start, removing parts for our investigators to get there, it's hard to determine, but until we methodically approach the scene, find out everything that we need to, trying to determine the origin of the cause.
Brent Lail, CTV News.
Provincial police say they're investigating a possible road rage shooting on the 401 from early this morning. Police released this image of the victim's vehicle, saying no one was hurt. They closed the westbound lanes for several hours during their investigation, identifying a dark sedan as a suspect vehicle, but it provided no other details, only asking anyone with information to contact Cambridge OPP. The federal Conservatives are set to introduce a non-binding motion tomorrow asking Liberal MPs to decide whether they support pipeline construction. The motion asks Liberal MPs whether they support constructing one or more pipelines capable of exporting at least 1 million barrels a day of Alberta bitumen out of a BC port to Asian markets. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he wants to force the Liberals to put up or shut up when it comes to a Pacific Coast pipeline. Tomorrow on CTV News, streetscape complete in Woodstock. We take a look at the new downtown look after the multi-million-dollar project wraps construction. Tomorrow on CTV News at 6.
A wintry scene in Exeter. Thank you so much, Frank, for sending this one in. More snow in the forecast for your Tuesday. 2 to 4 centimeters in London, 5 to 10 centimeters in through Huron, Perth, Grey and Bruce. Blowing snow with gusty winds out of the southwest. A wintry mix possible Wednesday and flurries and snow squalls Wednesday night. An active weather week ahead.
The provincial government is investing $20 million to install concrete barriers at childcare centres. The fund is named in honour of a toddler who was killed by a driver who smashed through a Toronto area daycare earlier this year. Siobhan Morris reports.
It was a moment of unspeakable tragedy, hard to comprehend. A driver crashed through the window of a Richmond Hill daycare and barreled deep inside. 6 children and 3 adults were injured. A 17-month-old boy killed. Today, the provincial government took steps to prevent this kind of loss.
In Liam's honour, we are investing $20 million to launch the Liam Riazadi Memorial Fund.
This is a program aimed at daycares starting up early in the new year.
Community-based childcare operators will be able to access a simple application process that will make it easy for them to arrange the delivery and installation of the barriers that will be supplied free of charge.
Immediately after the crash, Calandra ordered parking lots in front of large windows like this one closed off. Operators have said they need help to improve safety.
$20 million really is a start. We wanted to be able to get out there and look at those locations that have the most pressing needs.
Open to adding more funding, while the government looks at other changes.
We'll be consulting with the sector to look at ways of improving safety and security outside and inside. Ultimately, I think in the long term, we're going to be looking at bollards and different ways of protecting the childcare centres.
Consultations are expected to take a few months, with legislation to follow. But Calandra says many operators have already made changes on their own. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
New rules are in place for Canadians crossing the U.S. border after President Donald Trump signed an executive order with stricter entry requirements.
We regret that we're not going down in a sense. We met some great people, some great Americans, some great Canadians at the RV parks we stayed at, and we enjoyed our stay down there.
Under the order, the Homeland Security Department must ensure all non-Americans staying in the country for more than 30 days register with the government. The new measures come into effect December 26th, expanding security screening, including mandatory fingerprinting and photographs. The Israeli Prime Minister says the second phase of the ceasefire with Hamas should begin soon. He says it will begin after Hamas leaders return the remains of the last hostage held in Gaza. The ceasefire's second phase involves disarming Hamas militants and demilitarizing Gaza. It also includes deploying an international force to secure the enclave and form a temporary Palestinian government. That government would handle day-to-day affairs under the supervision of an international board led by the American president. Officials with the famous Louvre Museum in Paris say a water leak damaged hundreds of pieces in the Egyptian department last month. The damaged items date from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Louvre officials say no heritage artifacts were affected by the damage. An internal investigation found the leak was caused by someone accidentally opening a valve in the heating and ventilation system, which led to water seeping through the ceiling. A local woman is back home after a whirlwind overseas adventure shooting a Netflix game show. She says she applied on a whim, and although she didn't bring back any prize money, the experience was priceless. Lauren Stallone reports.
Meet Selena Faruja, better known as Player 119 on Squid Game The Challenge.
Over 200,000 people applied to be on Squid Games, and only 456 people got chosen. So it was like, you're asking yourself all these questions like, why me?
Faruja says she was scrolling Instagram with her sister when an ad popped up encouraging them to apply.
I'm down to do anything all the time.
The sisters quickly put together an audition video.
Hey, Squid Games!
And the rest was history. Producers called them the Canadian Kardashians, but when Faruja's sister had to drop out, she didn't let that stop her from making her dreams a reality.
I went to my parents, I'm like, I'm going alone.
Filmed in the United Kingdom, the Netflix reality competition show has contestants compete in a series of high-stake children's games in pursuit of a $4.5 million cash prize.
The experience I had when I was there was insane. Obviously, I wish I could have pushed myself and got myself further.
Even with an early exit, Faruja walked away with something worth more than millions, a chance to represent Canadians on a global stage.
I'm just a girl from London, Ontario, and anything is possible. And it's just even if I went on the show and I wanted to win and I wanted to walk out with that $4.56 million, that could have changed my life, you don't know where anything could take you, so just try.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Finally tonight, Kris Kringle's new casa in St. Thomas. Santa's house relocated from London earlier this year, setting up in the Elgin County Rail Museum. As Brent Lale reports, it's been a warm reception.
Santa's house is thriving in its new location.
People are just coming and having a great time, seeing Mrs. Claus and myself, and we couldn't be happier.
After a decade in London, the house is now located at the Elgin County Rail Museum in St. Thomas.
It's a lot easier for us because it's only 5 minutes from home as opposed to a good half-hour drive and then an hour round trip to London. But it's so much nicer to have so many more people coming into the community. There's not a whole lot of places in St. Thomas to even meet Santa except for Elgin Mall, I found, so it's nice to have another option.
The time slots have been sold out every weekend since Santa and Mrs. Claus arrived in the railway city. The house is part of a joint holiday theme at the museum, along with the Christmas tree spectacular.
Everybody comes by after they've gone through the museum, and they're curious. They're usually peeking in the windows at Santa and Mrs. Claus. It seems like it's a start of a new tradition for a lot of families, and we have seen a lot of families also come back from London and they tell us their stories that they've visited this house every year with their family, so it's nice that the tradition can continue.
The proceeds from the house, along with the tree spectacular, go to the Save the Museum campaign. They are fundraising for renovations to the museum, and a portion of the proceeds go to the coldest night of the year. Inside, they are seeing between 1,000 and 1,400 people nightly, checking out the more than 300 decorated trees, sponsored by 140 groups around the community.
Last year we saw 15,000 people come through, and our goal this year was to see 25,000, and we're on pace for that, so I think that we might actually exceed that this year. It's really cool to watch the families interact with the different displays, just take a look at the trees. There's a ton of photo opportunities, and then online we'll see everything posted the next day, and it's just very joyous.
Santa will be in his house until December 23rd, and the trees will be on display until December 28th. Brent Lale, CTV News.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news after Monday Night Football. Bye for now.